hundreds, really thousands of people getting a first look at what's left of their neighborhoods now here in California, in Southern California, and also in Northern California. And it's not good.
Just the worst.
It's really, really not good in so many places, and so many people.
It's just unbelievable.
Of so many things right now, but we got some video. First of all, there were photos of late on Monday afternoon, Liam Hemsworth going back into his neighborhood. We told you that
his house
Liam and Miley's home burned down, and so he was going back checking out the damage there, and it appears to be a complete and total loss. Gerard Butler also returned to his neighborhood, and once he got there, he spoke to some photographers who were there about what he'd seen and whether or not he can rebuild in this same location.
How are you after the fire?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Just came from my property, and it's could have been worse. I feel bad. You know, all down there in the gully is all gone, and there's a few streets all gone. But there's so many communities here that are, you know, trailer parks and suburban working-class houses that are completely destroyed, and people have lost everything. And we have some of them staying at our house right now. It's just really sad, you know, because people give their lives to kind of, I don't know, to get to a place like this. You know, all their belongings and everything. And I've lost a lot of belongings, but I haven't lost everything.
When he was talking about he put it trailer parks and mobile home parks, you know, and working class homes, what he's saying is, because what happens is, you know, when stories come out like this, when there are fires, and especially in areas like Malibu or Bel Air or wherever, they say multi-million-dollar homes. And it's almost offensive. And I worked in local news for many years, and we were guilty of this and did that. And sometimes we would say that. And it's wrong, because it doesn't matter that it's a multi-million-dollar home. It doesn't make it worse.
There are probably more homes in Malibu that are not multi-million-dollar homes.
And they affect people the same when you lose your home.
And Gerard went on to tell us that, look, you know, he knows that he will be able to rebuild, and he plans to.
Right.
But you could hear him, what he was telegraphing there, you're right, is that there are how many, you know, thousands of people who
people without
aren't as fortunate as he is,
or people who are strapped, and it's just hard.
I thought it was pretty interesting that he actually, that's what he got choked up about.
I think it was really generous of him.
He got choked up talking about those people who are going to have a harder time rebuilding, not so much about himself.
I was moved by what he said.
Yeah.
Hello, Harvey. Hello, Charles. This is T.O. in South Central Los Angeles. My comment about that is that fires happen. It's really a devastating and really tragic situation. But in this state, it's guaranteed that there is going to be a fire. And like I said, it's a tragic situation that people lost their homes and some lost their lives being involved in that. And I don't know if some of them will be able to rebuild and some of them might not be able to rebuild. But I just, my thoughts and my prayers goes out to those who are affected by that tragedy, and also the one that's up north. I understand that maybe 35 people had lost their lives.
Yeah, no, it's terrible, and counting still. I mean, it's really terrible. You know, again, I've covered many fires, and I remember, I think it was the '96 fire in Malibu, where it was just a bunch of chimneys, where it was just unbelievable, and people rebuilt there, and then, again, you're seeing it. But I think the difference now is because something has happened to the climate, and I think it's happened everywhere, but I certainly feel it here, and it's made California living more dangerous.
Yeah.
It has made it more dangerous, and then the question is, with this kind of uncertainty and change, what are people going to do now? You know,
and where do you build?
Where do you build?
Yeah, where does it make sense to rebuild?